Fashion intersects a lot with art and film and music, and that was appealing to me. I read a bunch of fashion blogs and wanted to be part of the community. I'm really thankful for every experience I've had, even the ones that were puzzling or disorienting, because they taught me so much. As feminism becomes more integrated into mainstream publications and conversation, I feel weary of an obsession of celebrity culture masquerading as activism or as conversation or action. It's clickbait. I'm a big journaler, so for every new journal, I would change the way my room looked and change the posters on the walls, and I would change what I was wearing, and I would have a playlist, and it all kind of corresponded and matched, and I would change my handwriting in the journals. Sometimes you want something really serious that makes you feel emotional and makes you think, and sometimes you do just want a pop song. What I love about Taylor Swift is that she offers both. I feel lucky in that I don't really have to go to college to study something job-specific. I just want to go to learn about what is interesting to me and learn about the classes that you don't really get to take in high school because you have to take the basics. I get kind of sad when I look at all of my magazines and think about how at one time I was much more impressed with a certain fashion editorial, or how I feel like I can't really relate to being that excited about fashion anymore. Maybe it's being jaded, but I honestly like that now. When something's really good, I feel more affected by it. I think people get excited about someone discovering something that blew their mind when they were younger. I think it makes people kind of nostalgic and happy. That's one of the really great things about the internet, that it can bring people together in that way of just being interested in the same stuff. When you're a kid, you're already trying to create your own world and organize the one in front of you, but then you get all insecure around 6th grade and don't think you have a right to share that. I think it was my mom's attitude about art and being part of the narcissistic digital generation or whatever that made me think anyone would care what I had to say about anything. I'm not obsessively a follower of fashion in the way I used to be. But I still have all those magazines I bought at the time because I bought ones that felt a little timeless, more like books. There are moments when I am really not happy with how I look, or I think it would be an easy way out to try and do the conventionally attractive thing. But part of it is that I don't have the energy to put on, like, makeup. If people want to do that, that's fine. But I've learned that it's not for me. I'm not exactly in a position where I get to be super picky about the roles I get. But I would also never want to be a part of something that I think is poor in taste or doesn't align with what I believe in. One of my intentions with Rookie is for the girls reading it to know that they are already cool enough and smart enough and pretty enough. I love the internet, but I think you have to only use it in the ways that are good for you. I think there's so much speculation that happens. When I feel really insecure, or I'm in a social situation where I'm nervous about how I come off, or I'm trying to control the situation too much, I literally just try and use the same muscles that I had to use on stage, just paying attention to the other person and trusting yourself to respond as emotionally honestly as possible. When you're playing someone else, it sounds so negative to say you want to erase yourself, but part of the joy of it is you get to not be yourself. When you work online, staying on the internet more than you need to feels like being at the office after hours. Sometimes if you expose your vulnerability, someone else will feel comforted. It's like we're all in this boat together. I think that when people who've had success from a young age go through a train wreck cycle, it's usually because they're working on someone else's terms, so they feel the need to rebel. But when it's something you've built, you don't have that same kind of resentment or angstiness. But it's also difficult to keep those standards for yourself. I feel like one thing that a lot of creative people go through is that they feel like they don't have the right to be creative or to put their stuff out there. I'm glad that blogging from a young age kind of got that out of the way for me. A lot of people glorify and romanticize the idea of being an early bloomer, finding success very early and being a child star. But it can also be quite dangerous. It's great that with the internet, there has come this sense of creative independence. What feels most productive to me isn't to think so much in terms of how I can be alternative, but how I can be subversive in a way that feels organic, how I can connect with people, and how I can just be myself, which may be the hardest thing to be. One thing I've learned in my limited experience is you can justify anything intellectually. There are a million reasons to stay with someone, and a million reasons to end something, so you can really only trust your gut. TAVIgevinson, April 21, 1996, was born in Chicago, Illinois, and raised in the suburban town of Oak Park, Illinois. Her father, Steve Gevinson, is an English high school teacher. Her mother, Berit Ingen, is a weaver and part-time Hebrew instructor who grew up in Oslo, Norway. Gevinson's father was born to an Orthodox Jewish family. Her mother, who was raised Lutheran, converted to Judaism in 2001. Gevinson and her two older sisters, Rivka and Miriam, were raised in the Jewish faith. She had a bat mitzvah ceremony. Gevinson was educated at Oak Park and River Forest High School in her hometown Oak Park. TAVIgevinson is an American actress, writer, and magazine editor. She came to public attention at the age of 12 due to her fashion blog Style Rookie. By the age of 15, she had shifted her focus to pop culture and feminist discussion. She started to take acting roles regularly beginning in 2013, and from 2021-22, starred in seasons 1 and 2 of the CW HBO Max series Gossip Girl. On the MSNBC chat show So Popular, host Janet Mock dubbed Gevinson the "Queen of the Millennials." She then made a guest appearance on The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore on a panel critiquing Sean Penn's Rolling Stone interview with El Chapo. In 2016, Gevinson recorded a duet with Hunks and his Punks frontman Seth Bogart, singing on "Barely 21 Inches" from Bogart's self-titled debut solo album.